Hello, everybody, and welcome to our masterclass, Process to Profit. I wanted to firstly say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join Bree and myself. This is my incredible co-presenter, Bree. She's based over in the United States, and I am based all the way over in Australia. And today we're going to be walking you through exactly how we launched and scaled our online business and the processes that we use to be able to do so with the social media that you guys have probably come across this masterclass using. So before I pass my microphone over to Bree, I wanted to touch on something really exciting. If you guys are looking to really up level and excel in building a business that is going to support your lifestyle and allow you to build a life by design, and you're looking at what we do as an option for those of you who do choose to move forward with us, we have a really exciting opportunity for those quick action takers who are ready to jump into the online space. So make sure you stay all the way through to the end of this masterclass tonight, and we'll make sure that we give you all the juicy details very soon. But Bree, I'm going to pass straight on over to you, my love.
Thank you so much, Jess. And again, before we dive in, I just have a couple points I want to hit on. Number one is that I always encourage people to keep an open mind, because what we're going to talk about right now might be a little different than, maybe your typical business model or other things you've heard about online. So just keep an open mind. We're going to have a lot of really awesome information, but a lot of it might be new. So just, again, really exciting stuff we're going to share. And also, like Jess said, stay till the end, because not only is there a really amazing offer, but we're going to actually give you the next steps, because what we're going to talk about is going to be a really basic overview. We don't want to overwhelm you and make this last forever. We want to keep it short and sweet. So at the very end, you probably will have more questions, but that's what the next step is for. So when we get there, we'll let you know what that is. All righty. Here we go with the slides. Joe, do you have anything else you want to say on the first one, Jess, or should I dive right in?
No, I'm happy for you to dive right in, guys. If you're watching this, we're so excited for you to be here. I remember back when Bree and I first started our businesses, and just how exciting this opportunity was to really look at. A lot of the information, like Bree said, is really going to blow your mind tonight. But if you keep an open mind and you know that it's absolutely possible, you're watching two people who have done exactly what we're showing you. We're showing you our process to profit. So it's an exciting time. It's a really exciting time for you guys in your potential business opportunity right now.
Amazing. All right. So the three main steps that we're going to cover, I'm just going to go back one slide. Are you changing it, or is that me? That's double
It's me, guys. This is the thing when you work international, right? You got to lean on all this technology.
But we're here to show you guys you don't have to be perfect if you're going to do this. It's fun to mess up. It's fun to have fun. We're all about fun. So, alrighty, the three main things we're going to cover are: one, our high ticket offer. High ticket really just means high profit. There's so many different offers out there, but we're really big on finding the one that's going to make you the most money, the most profit, and partnering with a company that's going to be able to do that. Number two is social media. So we're actually going to show you guys how we can monetize your already existing social media through a formula that we use, just kind of tweaking a few things, doing it in a really organic, amazing way. And number three is automating sales and systems. So we have an entire online academy that teaches you how to run and scale an online business, the exact business model that we use that we're going to show you guys today. So moving right along. And this is a quote I really, really love, or not even a quote, but it's just a good reminder, is the way you're currently creating an income going to pay you for the rest of your life, whether you're working or not? Or will the money stop coming in when you stop working? So something you're going to hear us talk about a lot today is trading time for money. We're really, really big on time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, all of the freedoms, right? And so for us, it's really important to set ourselves up for a way where we actually will be able to continue making money, even while we're sleeping, while we're out traveling, living our lives, doing all the things that we really enjoy. And we're actually going to dive into this whole generational wealth strategy, which again might sound confusing, but it's all going to come together. So just stick with us.
Amazing. So one of the things that we always are looking at is there's a lot of different ways to make an income through using social media. But the biggest issue that we see is not many people actually have the process to success. So throughout this presentation, while we're going to be sharing with you the vehicle that we're using, we're actually really heavily going to be focusing on a lot of the processes and strategies that we use and how we teach the people that we work with in the online space so that they can genuinely get to that profit. So when we say the process, what we're looking at is social media and personal branding, automation and digital skill sets, and then of course mentorship and community. And it's really interesting because this is how Bree and I actually met through the online space, was through the community aspect of what this type of business model gets to be. We're based in Australia, Bree's based in the United States, yet we work so closely together because of technology. And it's through the mentoring that we've both had access to that we've really been able to gain a lot of success in the online space by simply following a really simple and very clear strategy that we're now teaching people all around the world so that they can then do the same thing as well for themselves.
Absolutely. And so we were talking about how you make all this money, but how do you do that, right? So there's a vehicle, a very specific one that we use. And the reason that we chose this specific vehicle of high ticket sales and the offer that we're going to show you is because it provides us with these 4 types of freedom that, as I mentioned, we're all super passionate about. So it's not just time freedom, the ability to work wherever you want in the world, whenever. The location freedom is the ability to work wherever you want in the world. The financial freedom, as far as like actually setting yourself up for the long term and potentially even your future kids and their kids and so on and so forth, but also health, because health is such a vital, important part of our lives. Like if you don't have your health right, then what's the point of having all this money, right? So those 4 different types of freedom are really what we're all about here. And we have found a vehicle that actually that actually encompasses all of those in a really amazing way. So diving right in, before we get started, I think it's important that we tell you guys a little bit about who we are. So Jess, I'll just go first, I think, because I think you're going to go right after me. So my story is actually really unique, and I don't even know if Jess has heard my whole story, so this is going to be fun to share.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear this.
But I always say, like, my kind of tagline is that I'm very anti 9 to 5. I've never worked a 9 to 5 and I never will. And I'm actually really proud of that. And I think from a very young age, I've just been a big dreamer, a visionary. I've always done things very differently, kind of against the norm. And it's funny because I actually grew up in a really tiny town in the middle of nowhere in Maine, of all places, in the northern US. And the town I'm from actually has like 2,000 people. So it's like itty bitty. But like I said, I knew from a young age I wanted to get out. I wanted to see the world. I had big dreams and big goals. So basically I moved to Miami for college. Between probably 18 to almost 30, like all of my 20s, I was living mainly in cities like Miami and LA. I got into like basically the service industry, starting at like Hooters, for example, in Miami, making like really good money as a like 18 to 22-year-old, where, just quick cash, always like turn and burn kind of stuff. So I think between that and then moving to LA, my, again, early 20s, I was working as a bottle service girl in like some of the biggest nightclubs in the world. But, you're around this type of clientele. And I think being around that type of environment at such a young age also just opened me up to what's possible, and even encouraged me even more to be a big dreamer and be like, if these kind of people can make millions of dollars, like, why can't I? So I knew I had to figure out a way. I just didn't know what it was at that time. But I knew I couldn't stay in this kind of crazy party world forever, no matter how much fun it was. So I ended up, I think I dabbled in real estate for a little bit. Like I tried a lot of different things, like, again, anything that wasn't a typical 9 to 5 salary job, because I've just never believed that someone else should be able to determine my salary or however much I'm allowed to make, or that there should be a cap on my salary, right? I was so used to like going into work one night and making whatever amount of money I made because of my own efforts. So for someone to tell me like, oh, you only can make this much a year and you have to sit behind a desk all day to do it, like that wasn't even on my radar, never, ever in a million years. So like I said, tried real estate, tried a bunch of kind of random things here and there that were more commission-based that I knew I could kind of determine my own money, but I was struggling. And I ended up getting another job as actually a flight attendant on private jets. So I'm doing all these cool things. Like from the outside view, it looks like I'm living the life, traveling all over the world private and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, it was really awesome, but like I was still trading my time for money. I was still working on someone else's schedule. I was going to all these cool places, but I wasn't doing it with the people that I loved, right? So even these jobs that like might seem so cool to the outside world, for someone like me who always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and like make my own, like design my own life, really, this really wasn't ultimately going to work out for me. So I think I just started thinking of what were some other ways, what are some other things I could do. And around this time, I ended up becoming a certified health coach and like yoga instructor. I was getting into this like holistic side and really personal development and working on myself. And through doing that, I was really introduced to the online space and how to really build a business through social media and digital marketing and all of that. through that, connected with somebody who I actually started in like low ticket network marketing, which we'll dive into that a little bit, kind of the difference between the two. But that ultimately led me to this opportunity now that Jess and I are doing. And that has honestly changed everything, because like I said, it does give me all four of those things of the freedom kind of wheel that are so important to me. So, so yeah, that's a little bit about me and how I got here now. I'll stop blabbing and I'll let Jess tell her story, because I love how different our stories are. So go ahead.
I love as well that like we have such different, you know, upbringings and different backgrounds in the way that we have built our own careers separately, but there's so much that I can relate to. And I think that's why Bree and I are able to really connect, and we've been able to build these incredible businesses side by side, is because our stories are so similar. And for many of you watching, it's likely going to be the same thing. So I went down the traditional build a corporate career pathway. And let me tell you, I was so glad when I finally saw the light and found a way out of that type of environment, because for so long, I was always brought up in an environment where my dad was a serial entrepreneur. He had multiple different businesses and he was really trying to create this like legacy of like freedom. But what I saw was no matter how much he was able to get the cash flow up and the bank account up, was it meant that he was always working hard. And you guys have probably heard this before, right? You know, you got to work hard to get your keep or earn your keep. You've got to keep like putting in the hours. The more hours you do, the harder you work, the more you get paid. So I kind of had this very like kind of conflicting experience growing up of, I saw my dad as an entrepreneur, but I also saw that corporate provided that that kind of like success that I thought I wanted at the time. So I'm an ex-corporate worker. I have had multiple different businesses. I started out in digital marketing, and I would specialize in teaching different organizations how to enroll people or how to speak with their clients through using channels like social media, like Facebook and Instagram, and building out these strategies so that they could build businesses for themselves. And eventually what I found with corporate, I just got so tired of working, you know, 60 hours, but getting paid for 40 hours. And we all know that if you work in corporate, it's never as structured as what they make it out to be. So I was doing all this overtime. By 25, I was burnt out. I had a really, really great, successful start to my career, but I was exhausted. I was never able to go to any social events. I wasn't able to go on holidays very often. I missed out on a lot of family experiences because I was always working. So my next step was stepping into owning my own marketing agency. And I thought, great, I've cracked the code. I've created this time flexibility and I'm able to work whenever I want. But quickly what I realized was that my business was traditional, and I kind of built a little bit of a cage around myself that I wasn't really expecting myself to have gotten to this point, because the whole point of leaving corporate was to be able to create this time freedom, financial freedom kind of luxury that I was dreaming of. But I did that for a couple of years, and I just really, while I had some really great wins and I worked with some really incredible brands around the world internationally, you know, I'd fly to different places. It wasn't as luxurious as what everybody saw. I was getting paid this minimal amount. I was always doing overtime still. I was up until midnight working for clients. I was working weekends to make sure that their jobs were delivered, and there was just no time flexibility. And my income was still capped because it was based on how many hours I could put in. So when I found this opportunity and I really took a look into specifically the numbers, and like Bree said, today we're really going to be going through exactly what the numbers are so that you can really understand the difference between working yourself in a job environment or working yourself in a small business environment, and really leveraging social media and being able to get that global reach and lean on that type of audience, and the difference in what it can actually produce for you in profit. So when I saw this, it was a no-brainer for me. I jumped straight in. I have been in the business now for 5 years, and I've been working in my business and connecting with different people around the world to be able to really show the process that we have really mastered to teach other people who may just be that, you know, ex hospitality worker, or that ex, you know, fitness and health industry worker, or ex corporate worker, that there is a way to create a life by design.
Amazing. I believe the next one's you, Jess, right?
Perfect. It's not letting me click on through. There we go. We got it there. It's the
There we go.
suspense. We want you guys to have the suspense there, because the next slide that we're walking through is our process and how this process is so important. It's been the key to really unlocking our success. And so what we really do is we partner with a company that already exists. And it's a difference between choosing a high ticket company that really allows you to be able to earn more profit. So as Bree said earlier, high ticket basically means high profit. So the first thing that we really teach inside of our mentorship programs when people are getting started and aligning with the business that we're working with is we teach people how to create social media content that actually converts. So we take your existing social media channels and we tweak the processes so that you can really show up in a way that feels genuine and organic to you, but you're already using these channels. And this is the thing that blows my mind, Bree, is the fact that we're just enhancing these platforms that you're already using in your day-to-day. You may knock off from work, you may jump in on a lunch break, scroll through Facebook, scroll through Instagram, you're already there. We're just teaching you how to now monetize those channels. We teach you how to connect with a global audience. And we do both a paid strategy. So you would have heard people talk about things like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, but we also teach you an organic strategy as well, so that it just feels really authentic to who you are as a person. And the beautiful thing about what we do is that we are able to connect with people around the world because, we're using these devices that are sitting in our hands that allow us to be able to jump on in different time zones and communicate. And, like this presentation tonight, I'm in Australia, Bree's in the United States, yet we're sitting here showing you guys the same process. We use the same process, the same strategy, and we get the same results because we're able to use social media to be able to actually connect with one another. We teach you how to have heart-centered, genuine conversations. I think one of the things that we, always notice in the online space is when you hear about an opportunity in the online space, so many people want the opportunity to be able to create time flexibility and time freedom and financial freedom. But then they hear this word sales and it makes it feel like it's this really kind of like icky situation or this thing that they don't want to step into. So we really teach you through a really heart-centered, authentic, genuine way to be able to actually have a process that feels good to you and feels good to the people that you're working with. And finally, we teach you how to use an automated platform that does the sales for you. So one of the biggest things that Bree and I have found in the last couple of years in being in the online space is that automation basically means that you have systems in place that support you and your business so that it can continue running while you don't have to necessarily be there. And the other thing that we always look at as well is, again, touching on point number 3, not everybody is in a position to have marketing or have sales experience, but you don't need it to be able to do this because we partner with companies and we lean on processes that allow that part of the process for your business to be done by somebody else, which is such a powerful support system because you're not having to wear all the hats inside of your business. You're really able to lean on a very qualified and skilled team to do that for you. So I'm sure by this point, it's all sounding really interesting and really incredible, but we're going to pass it on over to the next slide, Bree.
Yeah. So it's just like Jess was saying, it's all about partnering with something that's already done. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to do more work than I have to. So the idea of being able to just take a business model, take a product, something that's already there for you, just plug into it and just go. It's so different from actually having to start from the beginning and do your own. So just going to have a little side by side here to show you guys some of the differences. So if you create your own product, a lot of times it's a really high investment to get started. I would know because I've spent a lot of money on a lot of things in the past that didn't really work out, but you live and you learn. Whereas with what we're doing, it's a very low investment and it's a one-time investment. So you don't have to continually put money in again and again and again to try to continue to grow your business. With creating your own product, it usually takes a lot of time and testing to actually get it to a point where it is working and it is actually making you money. Whereas with what we're doing, it's already proven to work and convert. We have so many examples and success stories within our community. We have the proof that this is the model that works. There's no question about that. In a typical business model, you probably won't make a profit for anywhere to 3 to 5 years, if at all, because from the statistics I've seen, most businesses actually, unfortunately, fail and end up going bankrupt. So with what we do, you actually can be in profit, like return on investment, get your return back plus more only after a couple of sales. And again, we're going to dive more into the numbers in just a few minutes. So you'll see exactly how we do that. In a typical business, again, you're going to have to spend money on employees. There's manufacturing, there's distribution, there's like never ending expenses. Whereas with what we're doing, there's no staff expenses, unless maybe at one point you're doing so well, you want to hire a VA, but it's a very minimal expense. And at that point you're making so much that it's worth it, right? You don't have to pay for your own manufacturing. We're not making any product. We're not shipping anything. There's distribution centers globally that do this for us. So it is the simplest thing you can possibly do. Like I said, plug and play. Can't get any easier. And even if you're doing a virtual product, like say you're an online coach, you have courses, you have you do online coaching like one-on-one or whatever, you're still the one that's having to show up and kind of do everything, right? You're wearing all the hats. You're doing your own marketing, you're doing your own calls, sales calls, probably have to build out your own website. Like it is a lot of work and it really takes up a lot of time. So with what we're doing, we have, like we said, the academy that really is the system that you can plug into that's already done. You just get to go. So it really doesn't get any easier than this. And we're going to dive more into it so you'll understand. But the high profit vehicle that we keep talking about, this vehicle, this cute little pink Barbie Jeep. This is our pink Barbie Jeep.
I love that. This is a pink Barbie Jeep.
This is our pink Barbie Jeep. It's an amazing company. It's called Enagic. And this is what's so crazy, guys, is our main product is water. It is the best. It is the most simple. It is water, something we all need in our bodies. We're all like 70% water. Water is not going out of style anytime soon. So why not be putting the best possible water in your body? So the exact product, it goes by Kangen. Kangen water is actually, it's ERW, electrolyzed reduced water is what that stands for. And it's one of the best antioxidants and anti-inflammatories that you can possibly put in your body. The word Kangen in Japanese literally translates to return to origin, because it's also about bringing your body back to its natural state, back to homeostasis. So we're not going to go into all the science, because like I said, that's not what this call is for today. But we just want to give you a little general overview of what it is that we actually sell. So you're not like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And what's really cool about it too, is that it can actually help you create an eco-friendly, toxic-free sanctuary, if you will, inside your own home, because this machine itself has over 60 different uses where you can actually like replace every single household cleaning item. Like the list goes on and on of all the awesome things this can do in your house. And it's also helping you have a very sustainable, zero waste consumable household, because think about it, like one single piece of plastic literally can last over, like it never disintegrates, right? It's terrible what it's doing for the environment. And we all know that. So this is actually helping fight that plastic pandemic that we're all aware of. And also, as we keep mentioning, this is something that can be shared and done through social media. So it's not this like traditional door knocking, calling all your family and friends kind of thing. This is something that we get to within just a couple clicks. We get to reach a global audience through social media. So moving right along. Oh, stats on Enagic. This one's me too. So a little bit more about this amazing company that we partner with. So it's not saturated. That's what's so cool about this too, is I think a lot of people, when they're diving into the online world, they get worried about, oh, there's so many people already doing this, or how am I going to stand out? And number one, you're going to stand out because you are your own personal brand. It's not like we're just pushing the product. You're actually the person in front, right? Which is really cool. But aside from that, this actual machine, I believe there's only like 1 in every 1,000 households in the US. So not many people actually know about this yet, even though this company's been around almost 50 years, which is crazy. It is a Japanese company. It started in Japan over 50 years ago, but I believe they're going on about 20 years in the US. I know they are. I just went to the Enagic conference in Vegas and it was amazing. So they just had their 20-year anniversary in the US, which is awesome. And the founder, Mr. Oshiro, is just the cutest little man. I just adore him, and he's so kind, and he really runs this company from a place of heart and soul, and he really cares about people. He really genuinely wants to support everybody that works here. So it's a really amazing company to partner with. And it's constantly growing. It's a huge company that's like Jess said, it's global. She's in Australia. I'm in the US. I think we have, I don't even know the exact number, but I want to say like 50 different distribution centers worldwide. I'm not exactly. Yeah. And just to show a quick example of how much this is growing. And remember, this is the health and wellness industry, guys. Like everybody cares about their health and wellness right now. So this is not something that's like a fad or whatever. Like we're all learning how important our health is and how we have to invest in that more. So just in, 2022 alone, we had $1 billion in sales just with our company, right? And it's 17% growth in 2020 alone. So that's just like, it's only going to go up is basically what we're saying. And just like I said, people are becoming more and more aware of how important their health is and how important water is for your health. And this is what's so funny is like, I'm sure Jess and I have talked about this, but you don't know what you don't know. And when we think about like the water we were drinking before we were actually
Mm.
educated on the product, it's like, oh my gosh, what was I putting in my body? But you know, you live and you learn. And once you drink this water, you will never drink any other water again. That's just the bottom line.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, guys, is the biggest thing that we want you to take away from this masterclass tonight is that we want you to be able to really understand that, yes, there has to be a vehicle for a process to work and for you to actually gain profit legally. You have to have a product that you're able to then be pushing out and be able to actually align with. So what we're showing you is a really ethical company that pays high profit commissions in order for you to have a really, really fast track start in the online space. So what we're going to be walking through right now is the fast track quad strategy, which is a strategy that we use inside of our businesses to be able to really allow people to gain momentum quickly. So the benefits of investing in this within your business means that within your own sales, you're going to be generating 760 USD in immediate commission. So that's an immediate return on investment when you choose to go through with a quad strategy or the quad strategy. So you've got an Inespa, which is the product that sits in the shower and it basically gives you like a hot spring effect in your shower. You've got a K8, which is the system that sits on the kitchen bench. You've got a supplement called Ukon, which is turmeric, and I've got many experiences with the Ukon tablets, which we won't go into today to keep us on time. And then you've got a second K8, which you're able to then use as a loaner machine if that's something that you're really looking to be able to grow quickly. What I want you guys to really take a note of right now inside of this masterclass is the numbers. This presentation is really to expose you firstly to, okay, here's the vehicle. Now we have a really powerful 4-step process that we're going to teach you that literally anybody can learn. I'm very confident in the way that we teach this. And secondly is the type of commissions that we're talking about is not a couple hundred here and there. We're talking about thousands of dollars, and we're talking about money that is legitimate and paid out to you every 10 days from the sale that is made. So the first 5 quad sales inside of your business, you're going to be generating 12,525 USD in commissions. And then the next 6 quad sales after that, so 11 in total, you're looking at a profit of 34,245 USD. Now I know, Bree, you can probably relate to this in your past experience, but even when I owned my own traditional business and I'd stepped outside of the corporate space and I was doing it on my own, I never saw this kind of money come through my doors because it was so hard to generate money based on the time that I was putting in. You can't get any more time, right? If you go on the basis that you need to work harder to earn more money, there's only ever going to be 24 hours in the day. With social media and the process that we teach and the vehicle that we partner with, we're able to then multiply that because we're able to use time zones that are around the world using platforms that are operating 24/7, and we're able to increase the amount of reach that we can provide to our customers because we're using social media platforms that are globally connected platforms. So the quad strategy is our recommended way to get started with the Magic, and it's also the fastest way that you're going to be able to start really growing and scaling through earning some of these really high big ticket commissions.
Awesome. And then speaking of the numbers, this is a slide that we like to share just to kind of give you guys an idea of what is possible, because these numbers really are like unlike anything you've ever seen before. Like Jess and I have both done a lot of different business models. I've done other, like I said, low ticket network marketing, and this is just something that it's not possible with any other model. And so we just think it's really cool to share with you guys a couple of examples. Like right now, so Jess and I are both at 6A, right? This is kind of the first like top rank that you would hit. The next one would be 6A2, which means you have 2 people on your team that have also hit 6A. So you get these crazy bonuses. See, this one's 6,000, this one's 12,000. But the first one that we like to point out that's a really kind of big deal is this 6A2-3, because immediately you get a one-time $25,000 US bonus, which again, that's on top of all of the sales commissions that you've already made up to that point. So that's just extra. Like this company really likes to reward us for doing a good job, introducing this to more people. So it's a one-time bonus. And then you see where it says $5,000 monthly for life. Like that is true residual passive income. And that is what we all want, right? To be able to just have money coming in without actually having to do anything. So it's like, yes, you've built yourself up where now you're getting rewarded by continuously making money without you physically having to do anything. So that's just really, that's what we're all striving for, I think. So that's just kind of, again, numbers might look a little confusing at this exact moment, but just keep and just be aware of what's possible with this business model. That's really what this.
It's one of those things as well where I always look at it this way, guys, is like we see the classic like dynasty families, right? And we see this like conversation around generational wealth and what that actually means. And if you're sitting on this masterclass right now and watching this, it's because you're interested in either creating a supplementary income alongside what you're already doing, or you're looking at a business model that's going to really give you time freedom and financial freedom. When we're looking at 5,000 US monthly for like the rest of your life every single month, right? We're also looking at a compensation plan that is willable to your children. So you're actually changing the entire trajectory of your generational wealth by investing in something like this and then being able to get to the rank of 682-3, because you're able to then pass that down to your children and they can pass it down to their children. That's an entire like lineage of your family that is able to actually benefit from the work that you're doing right now with your life here in the moment.
So cool. Thank you for reminding me of that, because it's the legacy part is really what makes this so unique. And we do have, Enagic has a patented 8-point compensation plan, which no other company out there has. So that's why I just like to reiterate that you won't see this anywhere else. Okay, so I want to touch a little bit on this old school versus kind of new era of traditional MLM versus what we're doing, right? So some of you may or may not have heard before of network marketing, multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing. There's a lot of different terms, I think, that are thrown around for what this is. So I just like to kind of make it clear that there's traditional network marketing is also an amazing business model. It's something, like I mentioned, that I've done myself. And just to give you guys a little bit of an example, let me just go over exactly what the slide says so you get where I'm coming from. But in traditional MLM, a lot of times you have monthly sales quotas. So if you don't meet a certain sales volume or a certain amount every month, usually you're going to get deranked, or you're going to have to probably start over the next month, right? So in our business model, there's no quotas. It doesn't matter if you need to go take a few months or even a year off. When you come back, you're still going to be in that same rank, which means you're making those same commissions as you were before, which is amazing. In a traditional MLM model, we already said you lose rank, but this is the same thing. You're never going to lose that rank regardless of how much time you take off. So low ticket versus high ticket is like the really main thing we want to hit on here, because there's so many companies out there. And again, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I think they're amazing. They have great products. There's a lot of supplements. There's a lot of shakes. There's essential oils. There's so many companies that are in the same type of business model. And just to reiterate, what makes this type of business model so unique is that the companies are paying us as the distributors to market for them. So that's why they're able to pay us so well, because they're not paying these big marketing companies to go out and get the products out there. It's more about word of mouth, or us getting the products to people that we actually want to share it with. So that's what makes this so unique, just in case that was a little unclear about how it's so different from like a traditional corporate America type job where you're getting a salary or something. We're actually getting paid to go out there and share products that we love and get really nicely compensated for that. So like I was saying, in a low ticket, and usually it's going to be like a product anywhere from $20, $50, maybe $100 max. And with products that are that range, you really can only make from somewhere from $20 to $150 per sale and commission. Whereas with what we're doing, we're talking about thousands of dollars. Like I know Jess already went over the numbers, but the very minimum commission you could ever make in our company from your very first sale would be $340 if you just started with one product. But as she said, with the one that we start with, your minimum is going to be closer to $700 or $800, and it only goes up from there as you rank up. So the max is actually $6,400. So I don't know about you guys, but I like the idea of being able to just make one sale and make $6,400. One sale a month would be all you need, right?
Absolutely. So when we're looking at that as well, Brie, like that for many people is a standard income. That's a monthly income right there. And to think that it's only going to take one sale, like that's what blew me away. Is like I don't have to sit and hustle day in, day out, be on my computer and be on my phone 24/7 with my clients, because I'm able to just use social media and cover my monthly expenses.
Exactly. And then also with the automation, which we keep hitting on, that it's only going to make it that much easier. So, and again, with typical MLMs, you have those monthly memberships. A lot of times there's minimums. With us, it's just a one-time investment. When you first start, you have to obviously purchase the products in order to be a distributor and be able to build this business, but it's that one-time initial investment. And these products will last in your home over 20 years. So it's pretty amazing. No legacy income with a typical MLM. With us, you get that limitless, willable legacy income that we just talked about in the previous slide. And with typical MLMs, it's a lot of that recruiting, kind of spammy, like, let's make a whole list and call all of our friends and family and annoy them. And like, nobody wants to do that. That's not fun. And that's not the way we do business anymore. So as we said, what we do is really about attraction marketing. It's about using ourselves as the personal brand, really putting ourselves in our what we're passionate about in the forefront. And through doing that, it naturally attracts like-minded people who want the same things that we do. So it's a much more organic way of going about things. Okay, so then the process and the systems. And this is the part we can't talk about this enough, because we love automation. We love to have our time to do whatever the hell we want and not be sitting on our phones or our computers all day long. You know, we're really lucky to have that location freedom to be able to work on our own devices at any time. But the idea that we could really just go out and live our lives and not have to be glued to it is what's so cool, right? And what makes our system so unique. So we have a system that actually can make sales for you 24/7 without you having to do the heavy lifting, without you having to do your own sales calls, without you having to create your own webinars, right? So like what Jess and I are doing right now, we're doing this because, you know, we've been in the business 5 years. We really enjoy doing this. But if you're brand new, you're not expected to come on and make webinars or anything like this. This is something that's all going to be done for you. And again, to truly automate a business, you have to have the systems, you have to have the funnels, like the email marketing, all of these things that come together to make your business successful. It takes a lot of work, and we don't want to do all that work. So that's why we've chosen a system that actually does it for us, right? And without that automation, you don't have the time freedom that we keep talking about. So yeah, I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over, but it is really what's so important to us is the freedom, and specifically to not have to be glued to our devices and to actually be able to live our lives doing all the things that we love to do. So I don't know if you want to add to that, Jess, but
I feel like you hit the nail on the head, if I'm honest with you. I don't feel like there's anything else. I think that the biggest thing that I really want our audience who are watching the masterclass to really understand is that it doesn't have to all be you. Like, you are able to lean on these systems that are already built for you so that you can just focus on building out a brand using social media that is just you showing up in your day-to-day life. And for me, I was like, I had lost the version of myself that was fun and energetic and would go out hiking and prioritize my health because I was so consumed by my job. Now I get to have more fun in my life, knowing that my systems are so tight and set up correctly that my business is operating no matter if I'm out hiking or if I'm out at lunch with the girls or I'm like, you know, on a boat, like somewhere traveling, if I'm in the air, it's all set up correctly. And that's what we want you guys to be able to see is the true power of automation and having those systems so tightly set up that you can have more life in your weeks.
More life in your weeks. I love that. I love also, you said something before. I think you said put it on your bench in your kitchen, and most Americans are probably like, what the hell is she talking about on her bench? We always make fun of each other's accents, but
there's like that slight difference. And if we still have you here on this masterclass, guys, like there's something really exciting coming at the end that we're going to announce to you guys that you have the opportunity to be a part of. And so if you're hearing this Australian accent and you're like wanting to learn some real Australian like words, then stay tuned because we got something special coming up.
We only got a couple more slides. We promise we're almost there. Just stay tuned. And again, so how does this all work? This is just a really quick overview of exactly how it works. So it's the content creation, either ads or organically, both ways we teach you how to do in our online academy. So you're basically just calling in those people, your people that are attracted to the same things that you do, that want that freedom lifestyle, that want that health and wellness lifestyle, all of those things that you're naturally about. You're calling in your people through social media. Once you have somebody interested, the next step would be to offer them the masterclass. Just like I said, it would be one just like this. You don't necessarily have to do it yourself. We have a ton of them that are already there, ready for you to access at any time. So once someone's gone through a webinar and they want to know the next step, which is what we're going to get to at the end here, there's going to be a next step inside of the academy. We call it the discovery process. And this is what is actually going to break down the entire business model, more about the products, more about the compensation, exactly how we make the money that we do, exactly how this company Magic works that we partner with. All of those details, all those questions that I'm sure you still have, they're all going to get answered there, right? And then as soon as you're done with that process, the next step is going to be getting on a call with what we call our digital business specialists. These are people that are actually there to take your sales calls for you. So if you don't want to, you never actually have to get on a call with a lead and try to close a sale. That part is done for you. And I know that's the part that probably freaks most people out, especially when they're brand new. So just know that you don't have to do that. This is what's so cool about what we're talking about, guys. It really is done for you. And then the next step is, as we said, you actually have to purchase the products, one or a few different ones, depending on which option you go with, to get started and start selling and being a distributor yourself. And then we go ahead and we launch you right away. There's no downtime. We want you to dive right in and start making your money back as soon as possible. So we actually have our own mentorship, our own 1-month mentorship that you could do with Jess and I, that we're going to talk about here at the end as well. So it's just a very streamlined process, guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just dive in, you follow the steps that we have lined up for you, and you launch, and you can start making your money back right away. So very excited. Oh, the Academy, it's still me. So the Academy, we keep talking about what is it exactly? So the Academy is a place where not only are you going to learn all the skills to run and scale your online business, like we keep talking about, there's the discovery process we mentioned, there's all of the information about our offer, there's actually understanding your numbers and how to make the kind of money that we're talking about, but it's also like this whole personal development thing. So you see these people here, I'm sure a lot of you recognize Preston Smiles and a lot of these faces. These are people that actually, people spend tens of thousands of dollars to work with them, to get mentored by them one-on-one, and that's all included in this as well. So I'm sure a lot of you know that it's not just about doing the physical action steps, it's also about having your mind right, feeling in alignment, doing the inner work. And we include a lot of that in what we do, because if you're not doing that first, all the other stuff doesn't even matter, right? So we give you the process, the action steps, the numbers, all the important action type stuff, but then you also have to do a lot of that inner work and get in alignment. And all of that is included in one place here, which is really awesome. We have ongoing masterclasses every single week. We have all of the, we have like a whole, what they call it, a vault of like tens and thousands, not tens of thousands, hundreds, I would say, of masterclasses, and they're available from some of these top leaders, people that I said people spend a lot of money to work with. So the fact that that's all included is really, really awesome. Is there one more slide for me, Jess?
No, we're straight on to our beautiful mentorship and community and how important this is. So you'll see on this slide right now, this picture really excites me because it's actually different people from all around the world who have come together to be able to really lean on each other and really build out their processes and their businesses. So here's the thing, guys, is that in traditional business and in the corporate industry that I certainly was in, and what I experienced as a young businesswoman, was that there is really no support like what I have seen inside of this community. It is literally something that if I had started this business and I had really lacked that mentorship and the support, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I am in now. So I prioritize really giving this mentoring and mentorship programs to those who choose to get started with us and launch their own digital business. So we do strongly believe that mentorships fast track your success. And it's a way that you get to actually have someone riding shotgun with you in the car so that you are getting directions along the way. So right now, at this point in the masterclass, many of you are probably thinking, like, this is really exciting. This is really great. I love the numbers. The numbers are really incredible, like we know. But how do I actually do this? So if you choose to move forward with us, you have Brie and myself in your pocket to be able to really give you the step-by-step guide and the formula that we use to be able to create profit for ourselves through this process. We give that to you, and then you're implementing that alongside of us so that we can really facilitate your learning and really make sure that you have the skill set that you need to be able to really not just launch your business, but also scale your business in the online space as well. So this is something that we prioritize. And if you're still here with us, we have something really incredible that we want to be able to share with you on the next slide. If you are someone who is watching this webinar and you absolutely are seeing the numbers and you know that this is for you and you are ready to get started, we're going to go ahead and tell you about the next steps in just a moment. But for the first 10 people that get started in this best way possible, which is our quad strategy, you're actually going to qualify for our in-person mentorship program. And we'll also be gifting you a ticket that's valued at $2,220 to our Miami 2-day event that's happening in October. And you heard this right. I am flying all the way across the pond. I am coming to see. And we are going to be having an in-person retreat in Miami that is going to be 2 days that is jam-packed with everything you need to know to be able to launch and scale your online business. We're talking social media, we're talking content creation, we're talking automation, like we're packaging it up and we're inviting you guys to come to Miami with us, to sit in a room with us so that we can walk you through how this process is going to work for you. So if you choose to get started and you take the next steps, for the first 10 people, I mean, we would love to open this up to everybody who joins us, but unfortunately, this is like a really high level mastermind, and we really have the capacity to work with 10 people closely. So those 10 people that do get started with a quad strategy, they're going to be fast tracking their businesses. So they're getting started in the best way possible. They have access to Brie and myself and our mentoring, like one-on-one in a small group environment. And we're going to be really creating brands and working alongside you so that you fast track yourself into success in the online space. So that's really exciting, Brie. How are you feeling about the Miami trip?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's ridiculous. But I also just want to add that in-person events are so, so important in this type of industry, because a lot of times you find yourself at home just kind of working by yourself. And a lot of it is virtual like this, which is awesome. But a lot of times we're missing that in-person connection. So to be able to meet with each other and be in a room with people who are on the same page, who are working towards the same dreams, the same goals, and mentors like Jess and I that are teaching you these things firsthand, you can't beat that. You can't compare anything to that. So I just really want to encourage you guys, like, if this is something that's speaking to you, like, do anything and everything possible to get to this retreat, because it will make a drastic difference in how your business launches and how it moves forward. So wanted to add that.
Absolutely. So your next steps from here, it's actually really simple. So you heard us talk about the academy and how much that is really just like a hub for you to be able to automate your business. Well, we have an opportunity to give you guys 50% off of the monthly subscription for learning inside of this incredible platform. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to go through the discovery process and the discovery call for more information on exactly how you can start your business with Enagic, and then the next steps from there. So the first month that you're going to be jumping in straight after this masterclass, you're going to be discounted by 50%. You're going to be paying a 49 USD to really get into the discovery process. It's like a personalized coaching process for you. It's designed for you to really understand exactly what it is that you really want to build, what your goals are, to understand what your financial goals are. And I think that sometimes, like, you don't get an opportunity in life to often stretch yourself and really believe that the big numbers that you have in your mind, like Brie and myself, that it's actually possible for you. And so this system is really designed to hold your hand through this process to understanding what are your goals, how do you get started, what are your next steps, and what are the learning skills in the process that you need to take. So there is a 14-day money back guarantee. So if you're someone who's kind of, I'm interested, but I need a little bit more information, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and jump on the link that we will be sending through to you after this masterclass, go through the process, make sure that you actually give yourself an opportunity, because as Brie said earlier on in the presentation, you don't know what you don't know, right? So unless you really jump in and put a little bit of skin in the game at 49 US, which is what, a couple coffees a week, really? Well, definitely at my caffeine consumption, it's a couple coffees a week. But when we look at it, you're going to have to really open yourself up if you want to achieve a big, audacious life and have these massive goals, which you're totally worthy of, you're totally entitled to have. You have to go through and learn the next steps, right? So you're going to receive 30-day membership within the academy, and you're going to have access to all of the content, all of the courses, and all of the masterclasses. And of course, through this entire process, you'll have Brie and myself really helping you and holding your hand. So once you get to the digital business specialist call, which is also included in this $49, you will have an opportunity to look at how it is that you're going to get started and how you're going to be able to really leverage the online space, just as Brie and myself have, to create your own massive dream life. And I think that that's something that really, when you think about it, $49 to access such valuable information, like, I would invest that 10 times over again and again to be able to gain the knowledge that I now have, and to be able to have stepped away from this, kind of like terrible four walls of my corporate environment that I had built, getting nowhere, earning the same money day in, day out, not saving anything, not getting any closer to my goals. $49 to me, a breeze, like, to be able to really step into the life that I really have designed for myself now. So a couple of final thoughts. Your entire life can change based on the decisions that you make from this moment. So the next steps that you take after you watch this masterclass, when you step in the discovery process, you're stepping into a space of really being able to take full control of your life and the goals that you have for yourself. So every once in a while, something does come along that has the power to completely change the trajectory of your life. And Brie and myself, you heard a little bit about our story. This has been our exact situation with jumping into the online space, walking past fear, doing it anyway, and saying, this is exactly what we know we're worthy of receiving inside of our lifetime. So how things play out for you is completely dependent on your next moves. So don't take these words lightly. What's keeping you so loyal to a life that is keeping you so stuck? We all say we want this time freedom. We all say we want this time flexibility. We all want this supplementary income and this extra financial freedom, but we're always scared to take the next step because we stick inside of staying comfortable, right, Brie? We want to stay comfortable to what we know, but the next step is literally going to cost you 49 USD. It has a 14-day money back guarantee. And I know, based on the people that we work with globally, that this really has been the ticket to freedom for so many of us. So why not you as well?
Yes. And just I'll say a couple of final words. That's all right. But I just think, unfortunately, the way that a lot of us are programmed and the way society is these days, it's really meant to keep us in a box and to kind of keep us from really dreaming big and chasing after those big things that we know that we're all capable of deep down. So it's just a reminder, guys, that like you are worthy of, just like Jess said, whatever that dream is. You're allowed to have big, audacious, ridiculous dreams. You're supposed to. So it's just kind of stop letting society box you in, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or whether you are already an entrepreneur, but you're just feeling like there's something more you could be doing, or like there's something missing. Like this could be that for you. You know, it's not going to be for everybody, but it could be for you. And you really won't know unless you try. And you have absolutely nothing to lose because we have that 2-week trial where you can actually get your money back. So it's like literally a risk-free trial. You have nothing to lose. And if you're feeling that line, a little pull inside, like, okay, this is something I might want to look into more, I just encourage you to really take the leap because you have nothing to lose. So.
Absolutely. So from this point on, we will see you guys in the discovery process. If you are moving forward, which I know many of you will be, Brie and myself will be reaching out and we'll be in touch. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to seeing many of you at the Miami retreat in October, which is going to be an absolutely epic weekend of learning, fun, and content. See you later, guys.
Good. See you there. Bye, guys.